What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and I'm here at the Silver Lake Reservoir. Now, Silver Lake's an interesting neighborhood because some people love it, others call it the Brooklyn of Los Angeles, and some people just can't stand it. So I want to know once and for all, why is Silver Lake the neighborhood that people love to hate? Let's get into it. So why is Silver Lake so polarizing? Maybe since it was named America's hippest hipster neighborhood, it might have been considered a little too self-important by the way of cool for some people. But the fact is, Silver Lake was one of LA's original neighborhoods for artists, creatives, and free thinkers. But first, let's back up a little bit. The origins of what are now Silver Lake started with an 1887 subdivision called Ivanhoe, advertised as the best location in Los Angeles and formerly part of the Grant Rancho, with land selling for $150 for a 5-acre lot. It was named after the novel Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott. And though Ivanhoe is no longer the name of the city, many of the streets of today still remain named after characters from the novel. By 1906, William Mulholland identified the topography of Ivanhoe as a perfect selection for emergency reservoirs in the Los Angeles Aqueduct Project. The Ivanhoe Reservoir was built in 1906, and the Silver Lake Reservoir followed 1 year later, named after City Water Commissioner Herman Silver, who was very influential in the project. Around the same time, another subdivision cropped up around Ivanhoe called Edendale, and what happened there changed the course of world history. William Selig and Francis Boggs set up the first film studio in Los Angeles, the Selig Polyscope Company, which was soon followed by Mack Sennett Studios, home of the Keystone Cops, the original Universal Pictures Studio, the first Fox Studio, and of course the original Walt Disney Studios. Edendale was home to the first slapstick comedies, the first Pie in the Face, the first cliffhangers, and it was also where Charlie Chaplin was discovered. This was the birth of the American film industry. This was Hollywood before Hollywood. And with the artists came organizers, activists, architects who settled the areas and built significant homes from John Lautner, Rudolf Schindler, Richard Neutra. And Edendale was fertile ground. It was the home of a commune from members of the Partido Liberal Mexicano, who published the influential Mexican anarchist newspaper Regeneración during the Mexican Revolution. And though Edendale eventually disappeared and was absorbed into Silver Lake, the steep and often lush hills of the area are at the core of the alternative and hipster appeal. By the 1940s, Chinese-American architect Eugene Kin Choi sought to build a house for his family in Silver Lake, but due to racial covenants still in effect prohibiting the sale of property to any person not of the Caucasian race, he was prevented from doing so. But Choi went door to door seeking the approval of every house in the neighborhood before he was finally given approval to build in 1949, which opened the door for the Asian American and Latino communities to flourish in Silver Lake in the 50s and 60s. In 1967, Silver Lake was further cemented as a cultural paragon when a police raid at the Black Cat Tavern led to the largest documented LGBTQ civil rights demonstration in the nation's history. That led many to recognize that the Black Cat Tavern and Silver Lake were the birthplace of a worldwide movement. By the 1990s, Silver Lake was hot again and considered the best music scene on the planet. Homegrown artists like Beck, Rilo Kiley, and the Silver Sun Pickups, who took their name from a liquor store across the street in Silver Lake, innovated new sounds and pushed the boundaries of genres. By the early 2000s, families and so-called hipsters started moving into the area and a new age of gentrification arrived. Publications highlighting the coolness and the hipsterness of the area somewhat dulled the edges, but it didn't stop the progression. Festivals like Sunset Junction furthered the area's reputation as an artist and creative enclave. And through it all, Silver Lake's food scene continues to innovate and thrive. So Silver Lake may be a little polarizing, but the fact is, it's historic, it's important, and it's got a fun history. All right, LA, it's been a minute.